Before dawn, on the beaches of Chiloé in southern Chile, fishermen watch the water for a woman who hasn't spoken a single word to any of them in centuries. She doesn't need to. If she dances facing the sea, your nets fill for months. If she dances facing the shore with her back to the water, you can start rationing now. She's never once explained why. She just dances, and the entire island eats, or doesn't, depending on which way she's facing. Picture the coastline of Chiloé, a remote fog-wrapped archipelago at the southern edge of Chile, where stilted houses rise straight out of the water, and the sea has always been the difference between a good year and a hard one. Fishermen here still describe her the same way their grandparents did. A young woman, strikingly beautiful, with long golden or copper hair and skin as pale as sea foam. Nothing like the sun-darkened figures in most of the region's other legends. She isn't a mermaid. Unlike her own sister, she has no fish tail. Fully human legs, walking straight out of the surf. Her only clothing is a dress woven from sargassum and fine seaweed, drifting loose around her as she moves. She appears just before sunrise, alone on the rocks or the wet sand, and she dances. And that dance is not decoration, it's a forecast. If she dances facing the open ocean, it means abundance. The fish and shellfish will be plentiful for the season ahead. If she turns her back to the sea and dances facing the land instead, it's a warning. Scarcity is coming. There's a version of the belief that adds one more condition, and it's the one that should unsettle you most, because it puts the responsibility back on the people watching her. She responds to mood. Fishermen who go out cheerful, laughing, in good company. She favors them, show up bitter, angry, sour-faced, and according to the old warnings, she simply won't. Chilota fishermen still deliberately bring cheerful friends along when they head out at dawn, because nobody wants to be the reason the catch comes back empty. Here's where the story stops being a simple weather omen and becomes something much stranger. Because the most detailed version of La Pincoya's origin isn't really about her at all. It's about her mother, and a mistake that should have destroyed everything. Her father is the Millalobo, described as the king of all the seas of Chiloé, a being with the upper body of a man and the lower body of a sea lion. Her mother, Chula, was fully human, the beautiful daughter of a machi, a traditional healer named Chur. According to the old telling, the Millalobo took Chula from her mother's and she fled with him into the depths of the ocean. A year later, Chula returned to her mother's house, carrying her newborn daughter wrapped tightly in blankets of seaweed. She warned everyone in the household. No mortal eyes are allowed to look directly at this child. Whatever this baby was, it wasn't meant to be seen by human eyes. Yet, her own grandmother couldn't resist. The moment she was left alone with the swaddled infant, she peeled back the covering to look, and the baby dissolved, turned instantly into a pool of clear, ordinary water sitting in basin where she'd been sleeping. Picture when Chula's reaction, not anger, grief. She scooped up every drop of that water she could gather, ran to the shore, and poured it gently back into the sea, then walked further in herself, searching for her husband, sobbing the entire story out to him beneath the waves. The moment she finished speaking, something appeared, drifting toward her through the water. A small boat shaped like a limpet shell, and inside it was her daughter. Not water anymore. Not an infant anymore, but a fully grown young woman, radiant, golden-haired. They named her Pincoya. That's the origin. A child undone by a single forbidden glance, and remade by the ocean itself into something powerful enough to decide whether an entire coastline eats that year. La Pincoya isn't a lone spirit wandering the coast. She's part of a working family with real distinct jobs. Her father, the Millalobo, sits at the top of the region's marine hierarchy. Beneath, only the two legendary serpents said to have carved the entire Chiloé archipelago into existence in the first place. He assigns tasks, controls the tides, and according to the oldest tellings, is even credited with creating the region's most famous piece of folklore, the Caleuche, a massive ghost ship that sails the waters around Chiloé at night, crewed by the drowned. La Pincoya's brother is the Pincoy. And here's a detail that tends to surprise people. He's also her husband. He's the one whose singing calls her out of the water to dance in the first place. And her sister is the Sirena Chilota, who, unlike Pincoya, does have the traditional fishtail of a mermaid. Together, the three siblings share a second, much heavier responsibility. When sailors drown in the waters around Chiloé, it's Pincoya, her husband, and her sister, who are said to gather the bodies and carry them to the Caleuche, where, according to the legend, the dead don't simply vanish. They're reborn as crew members of that ghost ship, living out an eternal happy afterlife, sailing the same waters that killed them. So the same figure deciding whether you eat this season is also, quite literally, the one who decides what happens to you if the sea takes you instead. Most spirits like this stay confined to old stories told around a fire. La Pincoya didn't. Chilote fishing cooperatives still invoke her by name before they head out. There's a documented phrase recorded by anthropologists that fishermen would repeat at dawn, asking her to dance, facing them toward the ocean, not the shore. She's the central figure in the opening ritual dance of the festival Costumbrista Chilote, held every February in Castro, the region's capital. A real present-day cultural event, not a museum piece. There's a stone sculpture of her in Ancud's main plaza. Her image appears on commemorative coins and postage stamps. And here's the detail that says the most about how seriously this legend is taken. Her image is part of the official emblem of Chile's Regional National Fisheries Service, a government agency responsible for real fishing regulation. put a folkloric sea spirit on its insignia. That's a 500-year-old belief system about respecting the ocean's limits, quietly built into the machinery of the state. So the next time someone tells you nature doesn't respond to how you treat it, think about a coastline where an entire fishing season is said to depend on which direction one dancer happens to be facing. Maybe it's not really about her at all. Maybe it's about a warning dressed up as a woman. Take too much. Show up bitter and greedy, and the sea remembers. Stay grateful, stay generous with each other, and it might just keep giving. Which legend from your country scared, or maybe this time comforted, you, the boast as a kid? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. And if you want more legends like this, real folklore, real history, no fake jump scares, subscribe. New legend every week.